reporting on the games you love by people who love to game. The MMO Reporter Network. You're listening to Guild Wars Reporter on the MMO Reporter Network. Brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at audibletrial.com/MMO Reporter. And by Doghouse Systems. Choose your weapon at doghousesystems.com.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Guild Wars Reporter. This is episode 99. I am Celeste, and as always I'm joined by the lovely Allona.
Yay! And you're also lovely. The lovely Celeste and Allona.
Hey! The Salonas.
The Salonas.
Yes.
So, what did you do this week, Celeste?
Oh, I'm going first this week. Okay.
Yes, you are.
I was very slowly working up my Taylor to 500. I'm at like 470 some. I wish it was going faster, but I don't mind making money, so I'm not complaining.
That's good. That's higher than anything I have.
It's mostly because I've been making every day. Like, I've been trying to make sure that I log in and craft every day, because it takes like a few minutes at most to do. Mm-hmm. So, since they all had the 24-hour timer thing, so...
They've lowered that, haven't they? Or for some of them.
I just figured that it's at reset, so I just cut back before reset. And whatever. Okay.
Yeah, because I noticed the one time I was doing it, it said like in 3 hours or something. I'm like, oh, that's much less than I anticipated, but that's probably what it was.
Yeah, I guess if you wanted to maximize, you could log in like 5 minutes before reset and then do it again right after reset. Mm-hmm. You know, I haven't had a whole lot of time to play this week or during the weekend because my child is on spring break and we spent all morning decorating ukuleles.
Wow, maybe they'll put out a ukulele as the next instrument.
That could be pretty fun, actually. Well, they've got the harp. I don't know.
Psh, ukulele. Come on.
Yeah, ukulele's pretty awesome. I don't know how they'd fit it into the lore.
I don't know. Stuff.
I think it's more likely we get like a mandolin or something.
Ooh, yes.
Yes?
Yes. Yes, it would be Marcello's mandolin or Marcello. I'm not. Have we ever heard his name said?
I don't know. He's the minstrel.
The minstrel.
So that's as far as I can do.
Yeah.
So what have you done in game this week?
Earlier today, I got we got some budgie chirping. Earlier today, I got the meta for Living World because of the dailies. Mm-hmm. I also finally found that wiener Peter. Oh. God. I was beginning to think he was a hoax, that he didn't actually exist, and people were trolling me constantly, including ArenaNet, because I could not find the guy anywhere. Although apparently I ran right by him one day. Emma's for Awesome was with me. She goes, "Who's this Peter guy?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" And I turn around, and by the time I turn around, he's gone.
Oh, see, I managed to just be running and see him right next to me.
Everyone who's got him has managed that. And I was like, finally I was just yelling in chat, "I need to find Peter! Where the heck is he?" And finally everyone yelled at me and said that he was in the bank. And I finally got him. But man, I was rage-a-hauling. And actually, I just need to check one really quick thing. Oh, he's not in. I was hoping for Saint to be in chat room because I got a second Benetti's Rapier drop. Mm-hmm. And he is so irritated with me that I got the first one.
Oh, you meanie.
So I was wanting to I just got a second Benetti's Rapier drop.
Were you imaginarily buffing your nails on your shirt right there?
I wasn't even imaginarily doing it. I was totally actually doing it. And I also got my magic find up to 107%, which may explain the rapier.
Perhaps.
I love consuming children's drawings. They're delicious.
Ah, yummy paper.
So that's... Oh, hey, we never talked about last week. Did you notice that they changed the drawing on the children's refugee? Did? Yeah, it's a different drawing than it used to be.
Huh. I hadn't noticed, actually.
Yeah.
Meh.
In any event, that's all that I did. I didn't, I was away all weekend, so.
Yay! Away!
Away! So I didn't actually get to play quite as much. There's still a lot of the achievements for the living world I could complete, and I'm so sorry that my bird is very chatty all of a sudden. Hopefully it's not being picked up too much.
Oh, it is, but that's okay.
Okay.
It's no big deal.
Report from Vigil Keep.
The Pale Tree, Breen had an article on Scarlet's End and Zerg mechanics, and it's quite a good article. There was a little intro that said the miasma has been pushed out of Lion's Arch and to sea by the wind. So now it's safe, relatively, to enter LA, and it can be accessed at any time now. And you were surprised by that.
I was surprised by that because I had absolutely no idea that's how we managed to deal with the miasma, and that's like why we're able to go back in for extended periods of time. And I don't remember this being like anywhere visible. Maybe it was if you talked to a certain NPC or something, but...
Yeah, I just assumed it was as a result of our efforts from the last patch.
Right.
That's all. So I didn't really think anything of it. But, you know, the fact that air flow and weather systems would clear out the miasma eventually makes sense.
It does. I just hadn't thought that was what was happening. I was just like, oh, well, now we can go in. Like,
oh, apparently it was in last week's patch notes.
Well...
Did we actually talk about it in the show?
We may have. I don't know. I feel that kind of loopy that I really do not know if we talked about it last week. I've since edited other podcasts, so I don't know.
I have no excuse. Back to the article. Breen writes, people quickly decided to Zerg the LA events. These events are not made to be Zerged, as the update late last night shows. Throwing 150 bodies at a night just causes it to scale up ridiculously. ArenaNet added a bug fix that included make it so only 50 people can hold a color attunement at a time during the night's encounter, making it so on larger populated servers, people have to split up instead of just Zerging them one at a time. As I don't like that style of fighting things, I am totally okay with this. People, of course, are complaining about it. This rules out small servers who only have 50 people on at once because splitting won't work and they have to Zerg it. If you have small numbers like that, Zerg your happy little hearts out. No one's stopping you. It's stopping 150 people at once on one night.
I am of two minds. 75% of the time I'm playing on 100 Dun Ravi, and we're usually really small. Maybe during the day there will be 30 people on the map total, and it's really frustrating because even with the reduction, it seems like it's still hard.
Yeah.
It's almost begging me to guess to a larger server, so I'm almost guaranteed to get on an overflow where there will actually be people.
You mean because like earlier today?
Like earlier today, where we were playing on an overflow, and it actually had more people than Henge in an overflow.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I like the fix. This was the first I had heard about it, this article. I actually didn't really know about it anyway. I don't have a problem with Zergs per se. I feel like ArenaNet, though, is trying to break them up, which is good. Mm-hmm. You know, with the citizen rescues from the last patch, the Marionette, etc. And they're trying to incorporate interesting fight mechanics. But a lot of the time, people... There does seem to be a segment of the population that refuse to play any differently than Zergs.
Right.
But then they complain that ArenaNet makes Zergy content. I'm like...
You can't have it both ways, guys.
So, yeah, I thought that it's a good article. We just pulled out a couple segments from it.
Right.
Specifically about the Zerg and how ArenaNet's trying. I feel ArenaNet, and I think ArenaNet feels ArenaNet is trying to break up the Zerg.
Right. We've actually got a lot going on in the upcoming spring tournament. It's going to be running from March 28th to May 30th, and Devin Carver went ahead and wrote up a post about how this stuff is going to be going on and, you know, clarifying what was happening from the last post where we didn't have a whole lot of solid details. He says the initial round of the tournament will match the worlds in each league according to their world rating. After that round has ended, worlds will be matched up according to how many points they have in the tournament. This will continue after each round, which means that the matchups are not predetermined, but are dependent upon the results of the previous matchups.
I feel terrible because I read these and I understand all the words. but they make no sense to me. So that's why I gave this one to you to, to read, because I'm like, nah.
So basically what's happening is, let's say you're on Tarnished, and it's in the top bracket. So you're going to start off in the top bracket. Let's say that Tarnished does terribly, and it drops down to, like, the third bracket. Okay? I mean, it's hypothetical. I don't have anything against Tarnished. I'm just using it as an example. After it does so terribly, it'll keep moving through the different brackets dependent on how it does between each, I guess, week.
Okay.
So that's how it's going to work.
Okay. So kind of like how it was before, like not in the season, but like how World versus World worked
in the very beginning.
In the very beginning.
Yes.
Okay.
But your initial will be how you're doing the week before it starts.
Okay. I was noticing, for whatever reason, Blackgate wasn't doing very good last week, I think it was. And I'm wondering if they're trying to, like, get lower.
It's possible that way that they could kick butt the first week and just stay on top.
Maybe.
It's possible that they're doing something like that, although it seems kind of odd that they would. If you're looking to change servers anytime before March 18th, you'll really want to hurry up and make a decision, because the prices are going to be changing both before and during the tournament. So servers that are in the bottom of the division will be cheaper to transfer to, while more highly ranked servers will have a price increase. Before the tournament, you could be paying anywhere from 0 to 2,400 gems to transfer, while during, you could be paying from 1,000 to 2,400, depending on which rank the server is that you want to join to.
So the max is always 2,400?
It appears that way, yes.
Okay, I didn't realize what the max was. Cool. To prevent world hopping, these restrictions will go into effect on March 28th. After that date, anyone who transfers worlds will be able to play only in the Edge of the Mist's World versus World map for the duration of their current and subsequent matchup. If you transfer worlds on a Tuesday, you won't be able to enter the Borderlands or Eternal Battleground maps until the Friday of the following week.
So I guess that means if you transfer on Friday before reset, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
Which I guess is okay, but this is just giving like a more narrow window for them to choose from.
Yeah.
And I think that keeps it fair, so you have a better idea of, okay, if they're just going to jump to whoever is winning, they're going to have to at least wait.
They do have to have some restrictions, but I like that they're not completely, no, you may not transfer the entire time.
As far as rewards go, at the end of the tournament, everyone who has completed the meta achievement will be given a chest containing World vs. World tournament tickets. You'll also receive a unique title, and players in the top 3 worlds of each league will receive a limited-use Dolyak trophy finisher.
Limited use.
Limited use. I think they did that just so that they wouldn't piss off the people from Season 1.
Yeah, I read your note before, and I replied differently, and I realized I misread it. So, because I thought you were saying they were doing it that way to make them more mad. And I was like, oh, so the only way you could get a permanent one is if you had done the Season 1.
No, in Season 1, they got like, I don't know how many it was completely, but I think it was like 25 or 30 Dolyak trophy finishers.
Oh, I thought they were permanent.
Nope.
Okay.
So that's why they had to leave this as being limited, I think. To determine the number of tournament tickets that you will get, if you play on multiple worlds during the tournament, the world you represented the most will be the one with which you are associated.
And that makes total sense.
Yeah, so even if you do world hop to, I don't know, play with other friends, I guess? Or if you just decide that you really did want to transfer to Dragon Brand.
Yeah.
Then if you switch in the first week, then you'll be able to stick around and get the rewards from the server you played most with. So I'm totally on board with that. I think that's totally fine.
Dragon Season's wondering why they're going with the limited use route again.
It's so that they don't piss off the people from the first season. Yes. I think that's pretty obvious, actually.
Well, I don't know. They could, if they decide to come up with permanent, they would have records of who received them previously. Just give them to everyone that could have possibly earned it, I guess.
They could do that, but I don't think that they will. They could send it out like they did with, like, I don't know about you, but I got my green Quaggin backpack like 3 weeks later. So I figure it's going to be something, they could do something like that. I'm not sure exactly why they're doing it or why they decided to stick with it, but that's what they did.
Yeah.
As far as the rewards go, I tend to agree that the personal rewards shouldn't be based solely on the server's performance, but depending on how the achievements are structured and the rewards that players can earn through those, I think it could work out to being quite good.
Yeah. I think I might try to make more of an effort to get involved in the spring tournament just so I understand things better.
I'd like to be able to play, but I don't know. I'm terrible at World versus World. I'm worse at PvP, but I'm really pretty bad at World versus World.
Yeah. I'm not very good either. But I mean, if you are not very good and the enemy takes you down, that means someone on your team isn't being targeted.
This is true. I'm
Cannon fodder.
Usually the cannon fodder. Like 90% of the time, that's me.
So yeah, and they did talk that they're doing the Swiss style tournament. They reiterated that. And
there's a few other things, like if you're really interested, they do a full breakdown of the server price changes and stuff like that. And how many tickets you can get to get the weapons and all that kind of stuff. And honestly, if you're going to be playing in it, you're probably going to want to read the article so you get a better grasp of what you really need to be focusing on.
Guild Wars 2 Hub, Lee B had an article come out called What Will Be Coming in Living World Season 2. And it's largely, I think, just hypotheses that he's come up with, but it's a really entertaining article. He breaks it down into series of things. So the second tree is the first one. Deep within the Maguma jungles lays a possible second Sylvari tree that has plenty of other Sylvari already living near it. We know this from Malik, a strange Sylvari that wasn't born of the Pale Tree. I only know about Malik from guildies who have played through that personal story.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how many people, even who have played it since launch, I'm curious how many actually know about Malik.
I think people who chose that particular set.
Well, yeah, they would, but
yeah, but I think it's not one of the more commonly chosen ones.
Mm-hmm.
I think player base that's actually into researching lore is super into it.
Well, they'll know, yeah.
Yeah, but the layman that, comes in and does Living Story or stuff like that, they wouldn't know about Malik, I think.
He goes on to say, there is strong evidence to suggest we will be heading further into Maguma. That begins with Angel McCoy, narrative designer for ArenaNet. She said, I'm going to be trying to do a lot of cool stuff with them, the Sylvari, next year. In relation to a question posed to her about the second tree during the anniversary bash at PAX Prime 2013. She even went on to say that the matter of the second tree was only a thing of the right time. Another great reason to head to the second tree is because of a sore lack of player hub currently. Opening the second tree as a new town and allowing us to flock there to bounce off into the newer content is an absolutely great idea. I still say I want LA rebuilt. But maybe in the interim, this is still a good option.
I agree. And you actually brought up the circular area that's fogged out west of Brisbane.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided to say, oh, well, that's actually the dry top. And if you go and look on the Guild Wars 1 wiki, they say there are no allies, no bosses, nor much of anything of interest in dry top, with the exception of what appears to be hillside settlements, as well as a large tree stump in the central clearing. Though most of the land is dry and barren, the sides and bottom of the ravine just west of the center of the map is covered in vegetation as seen in most of the Maguma jungle.
Yeah.
And I pretty much had,
a panic attack?
Well, I took a really deep breath and said, oh my gosh, it was another tree.
I remember when you meet Ventari,
mm-hmm.
there was a dead tree above him, wasn't there?
A dead tree above him?
Well, there were tree stumps everywhere. Am I thinking of a different area?
I think you're thinking of an area that's near there?
Yeah, I could be thinking of a different area. Anyway, you went on to make some hypotheses.
Yeah, I kind of went down a very deep and winding road. I theorized that perhaps the magic vitality from there ran out after the dragons were contained the last time, and is the price that Sylvari pay when they put the dragons back to sleep death. Assuming, of course, that this was a tree that was around from before then. And considering it's near Bloodstone Fen, which we'll get to a little bit later, it kind of goes in line with what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This all assumes, of course, that Sylvari were created to destroy dragons.
As opposed to be champions of a dragon.
Yes.
Or the army of a dragon.
Right. I mean, it depends on which viewpoint you take. Really are two polar opposites.
Yeah.
I wonder if... Okay, do the Sylvaris that stick around after the dragon's been put back to sleep become corrupted creatures like the one that Ronan found that were, protecting the cave where he found the seed? And if he was looking and he was off, he had gotten lost by his patrol, that it's entirely possible that he could have been at Dry Top. and that could have been the tree and a cavern underneath with exactly where he found the seeds.
See, I would have thought that those would be forms Sylvari would have taken if not for the Ventari tablet and the village that grew up around
Okay.
it. That's always been, I don't know where I saw that or if I read it somewhere, but that's always kind of been my thought. Like, Sylvari may not necessarily have looked like this previously.
So it all depends on the amount of influence they receive.
Yeah. Malik kind of throws a wrench into that theory. He looks the same as the rest of the Sylvari other than the antenna.
Yeah.
But if trees kind of connect to each other in some fashion, maybe the pale tree influenced the other tree in some manner? I don't know.
Perhaps. And I'm wondering now if perhaps Malik actually came from the area in Drytop.
Yeah.
Because of where that old tree was.
Hey, so we have Lee in the chat room.
Yeah.
The problem I have with your theory, ladies, is that no other race makes mention of the previous Sylvari. If they didn't look like the Sylvari we know today, that's why people see the Sylvari as brand new, because any other fruit of a tree looked completely different. More like what the concept art you posted in the article.
Well, and the other problem that I have with it is that if they've been centralized towards where Maldremoth has been, in that particular area, what other races have been above ground during the last period that the dragons were awake? I honestly can't think of one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the Forgotten, the Mersada, the Jotun, and
we haven't got to those part yet.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're just at the beginning. Okay, we can go ahead and move on so we can.
The next section is about the crate husks in the Nightmare Court. The Toxic Alliance proved to be incredibly profitable for the Nightmare Court and the crate, and it is my suspicion that it is fueled by Mordremoth. Look at the Toxic Crate and their otherworldly glow that they gained out of the Alliance. Beyond this, however, there are enemies we've seen at Thomanova and Crucible of Eternity. The Green Zones, having long been theorized as Mordremoth's areas, have plant creatures involved. I think we can expect to see a lot more husks and fernhounds, as well as new strange plant creatures. And I want Ibogas back. I love the Ibogas. I know they're Allonian creatures, but still.
They are definitely Allonian, and
but I want them. One of the things I really liked about Guild Wars 1 were all the plant-based life forms. So I think bringing back older ones or just having brand spanking new ones, that's pretty cool. It also goes on to say we could see the court discover that the Nightmare is Mordremoth's influence and they fully devote themselves to its agenda. That's totally reasonable.
It is extremely reasonable. I can't argue with any of that.
And then lastly, talks about Mersat and the White Mantle. Deep within the Muguma Wastes is a place called Bloodstone Fen, which has a piece of an item called the Bloodstone. It is highly likely that we will need to gather the shards of the Bloodstone again to help in the fight against the dragons, and when we go to Bloodstone Fen, we will undoubtedly find the Mersat once more. And you went on a tangent. Well, not tangent, but rampage. You went on a lore rampage.
A lore rampage, yes. When the Bloodstone was created, it was to contain magic that was not corrupted by dragons. And this uncorrupted magic was then passed along to the humans by Abaddon. You're welcome, magic users. The magic and stone was sealed within by the gods and King Doric. What would happen should it be reformed? Could its energies then be corrupted by dragons, considering that if it's reformed while the dragons are still awake, could it then be corruptible? Don't know. Just a thought. Would we see a massive surge in magic use by all the races, which could lead to, as far as actual game changes, a max level increase, or new professions, or variants of professions, or new skills that would be available now that there's a new flux in the amount of magic in the world?
Although I don't think they could reform the Bloodstones only because, well, I know I personally have enough Bloodstone dust in my inventory to make a full Bloodstone. So I doubt that we'll be able to reform them.
Maybe all the Bloodstone dust that we've been getting is actually the 5th Bloodstone, the Keystone, that nobody knows anything about where it is.
That could be.
That could be the lore explanation, is that it's just been scattered as dust across the world and we have to reunite it all. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It says, The Mersat are dead, you might be saying to yourself right now. Unfortunately, this may not be true, as one of the Mersat, Lazarus the Dire, happened to be one of the only Mersat to have escaped death during the original Battle for Lion's Arch in Guild Wars 1. His last words were a vow of vengeance on countless generations, quote unquote. It could be from this single Mersat that we could see the White Mantle rise once more. I doubt we'll see the White Mantle make a resurgence, only because it's so human-centric. I guess they've made other things multi-racial, but I think it's a pretty good case for the Mersat. Also, man, if that's quite the seed to be planting far back.
It is. I decided that I will drop my daggers and shout, "Come at me, bro," if the Mersat actually do come in game, because I want to go to their city. I want it to be epic, and it can't just be a little side story. It has to be like a big part of the story. And I have the feeling that, like what the Mersat did to the Seers, that's what's happened to the Mersat, or what we did to the Mersat in a way, because we just kind of whittled away at them. And, with Lazarus the Dire being the only one that we've seen at the end of Battle for Lion's Arch, I think it's possible that it's just going to be like a handful of them there in their city by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I hope that they're just hiding away and biding their time. But, I worry that they're going to just fall into complete, not necessarily insignificance, but, I don't know. I'm trying to think of the right word. And I just can't. But I think that they're going to end up becoming like the dwarves are to the current era, where we have one. It's entirely possible that it could just come down to a one or a handful or something like that. And they've just kind of fallen into complete disrepair.
Yeah. Saint in the chat room is saying that the human story, the orphan background, has the White Mantle in it.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know about that.
I had forgotten about that.
So I take back what I said about the White Mantle.
I guess it could actually come into being significant, although I'm guessing that they'd have to be pretty far out there into the wastes, or, way up near the Isle of Janthir if they wanted to be really close to their masters.
There's so many cool things, as JadoCast in the chat room was saying, there's so many cool things with the lore they could do if they really wanted to. And I'm like, yep.
I mean, that's all you have to say, is that they could go pretty much in any direction, and that they chose to go towards Mardramoth is honestly just narrowing it down by a hair's width.
Yeah.
As far as what they could explore.
So we just pulled out a few snippets, a few sentences here and there out of Guild Wars 2 Hub Story by Lee, and the link will be in the show notes, and recommend people go read it. On
the official forums, Colin Johansson jumped in to make sure that everybody had managed expectations for what's happening in the feature-rich expansion, or even I want to call it an expansion. Wow. Feature-only patch.
Yeah.
There we go. And basically he just kind of corrected what I had just said. He said, "We'll go into more detail soon, just to reiterate so it's clear. The next round of major features will be bundled together in a large feature-only release that will come after the first season of The Living World 2014 has finished. A feature release is not an expansion, it's a release focused on game features. Examples of gameplay features we've done in the past would be guild missions, account achievement system, spectator mode, new PvP maps, daily world boss chests, removing culling, giving visibility options, and the world versus world XP system, etc."
So the quality of life type stuff as well.
Right.
I've actually noticed a little bit more communication from ArenaNet in general on things like this on the official forums. Like there was another red post, and I think it was mentioning that you will need to spend heirlooms, etc., before the 18th. And I don't remember ever seeing that, like just little, hey, by the way, guys, heads up from the devs.
Yeah.
On the official forums, and I think it's a really good move, and having them only on, and I'm so sorry about the budgie, and having them only on the official forums I think is a good move, because there are always the people that are really good at keeping up to date on the forums, and they disseminate that information out on Twitter or Reddit, and so ArenaNet doesn't have to have people blanketing things everywhere. Like they can just by the way, blah blah blah, and it gets out there, and I think it's good to have it from an official source.
Yes.
That it could be linked back to. I'm glad they're doing this more.
Some of the comments were like, we're going to be copy and pasting this until the end of the tournaments because people are going to keep asking. I mean, this basically means that we're not going to be having anything until June.
Yeah.
Because that's the end of the tournament series. That's what's happening. And managing the expectations is definitely something that people need to do. And I think that's going to be happening less and less once we get closer to it, because they're going to see all of this time accumulating and they're going to think it's going to include a lot more than what they're planning to include with it, just because the amount of time passed. A few interesting points. Roven picked up that Cantha could equal a feature. So, Cantha?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like, see above post.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Although Rainbow Syrup had a good one. Please, please, please bring back the high-res screenshot options that was removed after the BWE2. It's not super high top on my list. Like, I wouldn't necessarily put 3 pleases ahead of it. I agree. That would be nice to have. I still have my super high-res screenshots from that, and they're sweet.
They are awesome. I think the only thing that's different on mine are the UI. Yeah. But it still looks beautiful, and that's definitely something that I've been wanting, but it's not. Yeah, like you said, it's not high on my list. Mm-hmm. Kayawan said that most people think they're going to get the update on April 1st, and that it'll probably be the April Fool's Day joke. And I'm actually really excited for April 1st this year. I'm hoping that it's not Super Adventure Box.
Maybe they'll introduce the Commando again.
Yes. Maybe all the engineers can be reskinned to be commandos.
Yeah. Oh, so a former coworker of mine who was somewhat interested in Guild Wars 2, and the year that they did the Commando as the April Fool's joke for the new profession release for Guild Wars 2, we had talked a little bit, and I showed him that, and he totally bought into it. He was like, I know what profession I'm totally playing. So I was just like, oh, and then when I told him, he almost had tears in his eyes. He was so sad that he wasn't going to get to play the Commando race.
Oh, that is sad.
And well, he doesn't play Guild Wars 2, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. Forget him.
That's right.
Brain, not brawn, will change the world.
Ask an Asura.
Reddit user Vandalgion asks, what is your biggest Guild Wars 2 oh crap moment? He also asked for your awesome moment, but I just decided to answer the oh crap moment. I know I've had more than this, and it's kind of hard to quantify, but probably for me, the when we were fighting the ancient Karka en masse, and it did that first roll, and possibly like 3 people survived out of the several hundred that were there. And that the process of reviving everyone had to begin.
Right.
And that one was more like a what if moment, really, than an oh crap moment, because you didn't really necessarily see it coming. So definitely oh crap. I think for sure it's the first time a Zerg coming at me in World versus World when I'm happily wandering around by myself. La la la. What? Dead.
Yeah, I definitely had a few moments like that in World vs. World as well. My oh crap moment was when I was fighting the 2 guys that I meant to look up their names, the bosses in Molten Weapons Facility. And you have to jump and dodge and throw yourself all over the place to make sure that you don't die. And I had a panic attack from it. It was that intense for me. And yeah, that was definitely an oh crap moment for myself. Yeah.
I think I might have had one dodge rolling off of something in a big fight and dying and missing everything. I did that a lot.
I definitely dodge rolled off the platform during that fight. Yeah. I remember doing that. And that I nearly had a conniption for doing it. You know, one of the best times I had, and I just talked about this last week, and we were saying, is when we went to go fight Scarlet for the first time, and we were on the Breachmaker, and we were doing so well, and everything was going like perfect for us. And then I had that error 7, and I was just like,
all of us did.
You
did. You Darth Vader node right in everyone's ear. It was pretty awesome, actually.
But everything was going so smoothly that it was just like aces. It felt fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just so sad when that ended. But it definitely was my oh yeah sort of moment.
And then oh no.
And then oh no. But still.
Canadian Mathlete might be telling us an oh crap moment. Not Doyle, no one wants to hear your oh crap moment. Shh. You have like one every 18 minutes.
That's what happens to birds, I guess.
Wolfie has a good oh crap moment. Placed a buy order with an extra 0 in the gold price.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no. I accidentally bought twice the amount of gold or twice the amount of gems with gold by hitting it twice, but I was only trying to top up a little bit, so it wasn't a disaster or anything, but that's okay, you win. Wolfie wins.
That's painful. That is truly painful.
Oh, I feel for you. I guess
Oh,
also the link for this, for the Reddit link, I should actually post it. Some of the comments are pretty hilarious. Someone pressed accept on a total makeover kit, and they didn't mean to because they were just dicking around and making something terrible, and then they accepted it.
Oh.
And it is pretty haunting.
I take it they put pictures as well?
Yeah, there's a screen cap of it.
That's wonderful.
Tales of Tyria.
The Traveling Bobos, who have posted videos of themselves playing lovely music on in-game instruments before, have posted a YouTube video of them performing Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah. And it is lovely. I'll stop talking. Or is it playing right now?
You can stop talking. So it's really cute, and
they did a good job.
Like you said, the plush griffin in the background is really pretty awesome.
I was like, oh, look at them with their little hats on. They look so cute. And I'm like, there's a griffin in the background, one of the stuffed griffins, just hanging out, falling off of things.
Yeah. So on Twitter, Rangsington Scouts shared a wonderful picture. It says, I am a ranger and I support this message. It says what each class feels like in Guild Wars 2. Elementalist looks like a crazy amount of controls. Warrior has a single red button that says push. Yep. Guardian is mom's favorite child on the shirt.
That's my favorite.
An engineer is the gigantic Swiss Army knife with about 300 tools on it.
That's accurate.
A ranger is of a giant mech, and below it is a little speck, and that is the ranger. A necromancer is a nerf bat and ball. A thief looks to be like a glass cannon.
Yes.
And the mesmer is a lady, and I can assume is like a fairy costume.
A fairy costume. Though there should be like 4 of them there.
Probably, yeah. But it seems apropos.
Yes. I just thought it was funny. My favorite is the Guardian one, and that's the one profession I don't have in game.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I like my Guardian, but not that much.
See, that was cute. I really like that.
It's fun.
And over on Reddit, user Naganif has a post about sharing your home instance mining nodes. Apparently, you can, if you know people who are maybe new to the game or had to miss certain things, they just never got any of the mining nodes. If they go into yours, they can mine your mining nodes.
Yeah, it's pretty nifty.
So if you have the sprockets and they don't, they can go in and get them. I haven't tested it out. Celeste and I were going to do that and then didn't.
Forgot, yep.
Apparently it's old news, someone posted, but other people had other tidbits of information in there, which was really quite good. There's some really funny comments. I had a good time reading that one.
Like, for example, Deanie KG said, new pickup line unlocked. Hey, baby, why don't we head over to my place and mine some candy corn?
No.
I like your reaction to that. No. Yeah.
But apparently what you can't do is if you've mined your home instance and go into a friend's home instance, you can't, if they have them as well, they still show up as gone.
Yep.
So you can't trick the system.
Yeah, that's definitely worth noting. Although for people who have like multiple accounts or something like that, somebody had said that they took their alternate account onto their main so that they would be able to mine all of them as well. And then technically the money is shared because he owns both the accounts. So it works out well.
Canadian Mathlete has 16 stacks of candy corn.
Oh my goodness.
You're going to get lots of dates according to Deanie KG.
Apparently. You're a playa. They went ahead and announced, very quietly I might add, I hadn't noticed this until I was looking at the client after I'd logged out, and I said, oh, there's a thing here about the gem store. There's a new set of gloves and shoulder pieces that are similar to what Scarlet has, and you can use them on any weight class.
On any weight class?
Well, it goes through on each description. It says can be used on any shoulder piece of any weight class or something like that.
Well, I think that's a better way of doing it, personally. Like instead of saying like have a light, have a heavy, yeah. Didn't
I say? Haven't I been saying? I've been saying since before beta. I'm angry, people. I've been saying since before the beta. Why isn't it just for everybody? Yes. Why can't I transmute light onto my medium? Why can't I do cosmetically what I want to do?
Yeah, I'm never going to get behind you on that one. I'm sorry.
So anyway.
I have your back on everything else, but not that.
Yeah. It also is going to be the last week to pick up the mini 3-pack set 2 on regular sale. So after this...
Ready?
Yeah. After this week, you're going to be seeing it on special sales, or you can buy it on the trading post, or by throwing stuff into the Mystic Toilet.
What do you mean throwing stuff into the Mystic Toilet?
You can get miniatures by putting stuff in the Mystic Toilet.
What? This is brand new information.
I think it's like other miniatures.
Oh, okay, that's different. So, that's not brand new information.
Yes, Mathlete. I still have all 3 of those dragon helmets. They're still sitting in my elementalist's inventory because I have no idea what to do with them, and I don't want them.
Cal in our guild has it on his little tiny Azura Ranger, I think it is, or Guardian, and he has it dyed red and his armor's all red, and every time he comes he goes, I'm a wed wagon! And he types that all in caps every time he runs it. So whenever I look at the helmet, all I can think of is this little tiny Azura running in claiming to be a wed wagon.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
And of course, the sales are still going on, so every day there's a new thing on sale, so you have to log in. Just like to do your dailies, you have to make sure that you hit the trading post and pick up whatever is free. Or on sale, rather.
Yeah, because the free stuff's done.
Yes.
Even though Celeste typed up this PSA, I'm going to read it. So there is a PSA. All this stuff ends on March 18th. So buy whatever you need, beat Scarlet, work towards old Living World stuffs in the ultimate bag as much as possible until then. That was from the final countdown post.
Yes.
Listing the types of things that are no longer going to be around.
Yeah, if you have anything that you need to do, get it done.
Yep.
And in case you hadn't noticed, this is episode 99. So next week we will be recording episode 100.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a huge thing that we're finally hitting to 100 after almost 3 years. So we started it in August of 2011.
Yeah.
Come and spend time with us and come to the recording because guess what? We're going to be giving away gems.
Yay!
Who doesn't need gems? We're actually going to be giving away more than 2,000 gems because we've got a few gem codes for ArenaNet and I'm going to go out and buy some and we're going to have lots of stuff to give away as far as gem codes go. Unfortunately, they are North American only. I'm sorry, that's just what I got available to me.
I think if someone who isn't North America gets them, though, they can contact ArenaNet and ask them to be converted. I think, because I know I did win the in-game Guild Wars 2 Town Clothes shirt.
Mm-hmm.
It was a European code, and all I had to do was contact ArenaNet and say, I have this code. I got it here.
Okay.
And they converted it. So
okay, so I reason stands that it would work.
So Wolfie is suggesting we should have a party in game, maybe, and Canadian Mathlete said they'll bring candy corn.
You have to bring enough candy corn for everybody. Oh wait, you probably already have that.
Well, I think, what did they say? 16 stacks. I think they're set.
Yeah.
I think that's enough for everyone who has ever played the game.
Perhaps. So we would like for you guys to share your favorite Guild Wars 2 story, your favorite Guild Wars Reporter story, whichever story you would like to share with us that we would be able to share with the world. And, we're going to have a special guest. Chris is going to come back and do the show with us. So it's going to be awesome.
So we will be recording a smidgy later, just half hour later than we normally do,
yes.
or normally have been, to make time for him, because his time zone is very different from ours.
Yes. So where do you think the story's going to go? What are some of the features that you really are hoping for in June? Anything and everything you just want to tell us that we suck or we're awesome? Email and all that good stuff, and we'll get to those details in just a little bit.
I'm liking this party idea. I think we should actually try to plan and even a couple hours in-game party somewhere.
We could do that on Saturday, maybe.
Yeah.
Or Friday
I like
night.
that idea.
Yeah. I think we could do that.
We have candy corn. Wolfie says their guild has a bank full of chocolate cookies.
Well, all right. I think we can make this work. We will totally try and do this so that we actually have a party in-game, and we'll put it out on all of our media things so you guys will know about it as well.
Yeah, I'm terrible at planning these things, obviously, because we're just talking about the week before.
Well, if people are in-game or they're near their computer, they can come by and hang out with us.
Yeah. Did you like my little text in the show notes, my text below the...
Oh, yeah.
The thing?
Blah, 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 next show, blah, prizes, streaming a special time, etc.
That's
so
I'm enthusiastic.
Obviously. So if you have a community event that you would like for us to share either this week, next week, a month from now, 2 months from now, whenever, send us an email. We'd like to be able to promote it for y'all. Likewise, if you have a burning question for our Ask and Discern segment, please let us know. And now is the time when we talk about our sponsors. Our first sponsor is Doghouse Systems. If you use the coupon code MMOReporter at doghousesystems.com, they will double your RAM on a new PC or laptop.
Or you can visit audibletrial.com/MMOReporter, and they will give you your first month free.
Now, Allona, if people do want to send us any of their wonderful memories or opinions or stories or anything, what are some of the many ways that they could get in contact with us?
They can email gwreporter@mmmoreporter.com. They can visit us on Twitter at gwreporter. Our website is guildwarsreporter.com. You can leave a voicemail at 616-666-6778 or use the widget on the right-hand side of the website. Our YouTube channel is MMO Reporter Network, and there is actually a playlist for Guild Wars Reporter. And remember to like our videos and subscribe to our playlist. Facebook is GW Reporter. Tumblr is gwreporter.tumblr.com. The Collegium website or guild website is collegium-gw2.guildlaunch.com. Or you can visit us individually on Twitter, and I am at OneBigPair.
And I am at Seleuki.
Also, you can tune in to our live stream at twitch.tv/MMOReporter. Next Wednesday, it will be at 10 p.m. EST or 7 p.m. PST. And be sure to come by, as we are going to give away more than 200 gems.
It says 2,000.
Okay, I wanted the 1,800 that were left over.
Oh, sorry.
2,000 gems.
Yes. Thank you so much for you guys coming by. The chat room has been so active and full. It's been a wonderful experience tonight.
Yay! Thanks everyone for popping in.
And thank you, Allona, for spending time with me and the chat and making us all laugh and giggle and be happy.
Yay! Yeah, it's always fun. I always look forward to Wednesdays.
Yay! Thank you for downloading the podcast. We hope that you enjoy it, and we hope that you'll come by again next week for episode 100! But most importantly, we hope to see you in game.